Now let's talk about the man who was the title VGMA's Artist of the Year. He broke the jinx to grab that. His name has become synonymous with praise and worship. And guess what? He left his school where he was learning to become an architect to chase this passion and vision, even though he went back later to get a degree. I give you Joe Mettle. Chief,
yes,
what's up?
Everything.
Always a pleasure to have you.
Always a pleasure.
That crowd in that video, full, and it feels like a church, complete, because it was a recording. And at some point you said that you couldn't even resist the temptation. Then you say, well, last one, and then you sing last one. What is it that happens once you mount a stage and that you can't take control of yourself? What is it?
It's not like I can't take control of myself. I can, but it's more of the atmosphere, the presence of God. It's a sweet and beautiful thing when you are in His presence, and you sort of like sometimes don't want to leave that space. So it's not. If you've studied, whenever I say last one, it happens to be when we're in the mood of worship.
Right.
And, like, I want to stay there
last one. Then
yeah, I wish I could stay there all night long. And sometimes he sing last one, and then he puts a new message,
a new one,
and then he's
drop it.
And you're like, can we just have like 5 minutes?
I need to control myself.
I know the reason why normally I say last one.
No, tell me.
Most of the time, especially with recordings, they write things on the screen.
Okay.
So when I say last one, it's not necessarily the audience I'm talking. I'm talking to the people writing.
The people,
on my
they're queuing you to move on.
Can we please go on to the next set?
Okay.
And I'm like, last one. And then we do it, and then I say last one. And then,
I see, interesting. But Joe Mettle, you broke the jinx to become Artist of the Year. And some say, look, that's a big, fat leap. Would there be another gospel musician to take that title again?
I think anything is possible. If God can use me to do it, anybody else can do it.
Anybody can do it.
Yes, anybody can do it.
Let's look at the gospel music scene now. Ever since the likes of you, Nasi, Koda, Francis Osei, Francis Samu, there's a long list of you who came on. There seems to have been a breath of freshness. So we're able to select, forgive me, chaff from the wheat. Yes, I like to put it that way, because now it's no longer a shouting party. The people who are leading people to the presence of God. One would want to ask, are you training people to rise up to the occasion as well?
Yes. There's a lot of people. There's some who are close, there's some who are far.
Okay.
The ones close would always talk to you, come to you every time. And the ones who even are far, sometimes will just call and say, how do I do this? How do I go about this? How does this work? Because maybe they are not able to be with you as they're supposed to, so they're still able to learn. At the same time, we have the opportunity of raising artists right under our noses. I think someone like Luigi is like the first artist we started working with.
Right.
And there's going to be
He has a full album as well.
Yeah, he's working on one, but currently he has a single out.
Okay.
And so we're working on a major album for him, and there are other artists also coming in. The whole point is to spread the gospel across. It's not about whether you are the one that is, no, it has nothing to do with that. But we believe that the more there is of those kind of people, the more we'll be able to also influence and affect our society and our country and the world at large for the Lord.
Do you sleep? Because
I do.
You at programs, you are around.
Everybody
wants to have a bite of you. Joe Mettle here, he leaves, he goes here. Do you sleep?
I do sleep. I do sleep. In fact, I woke up this morning.
Okay.
So you see, the thing is, because I knew that I was supposed to be here.
Okay.
Yesterday when I came back, we came from Abidjan last night.
Right.
And so I didn't even go home. So I stayed in town.
Okay.
So I don't have to be in traffic. So I have enough sleep. Before I'm here, but right from here, I'll go and continue.
You're going to continue.
I don't joke with myself.
What does the day look like for Joe Mettle? You wake up, what time? Run us through. There's somebody who's watching who wants to be like you.
It depends on. I have a very terrible pattern, like with respect to time you go home.
Okay.
Sometimes you go home very late, depending on where you are and what event you're doing. So sometimes you get home as late as 2 a.m., sometimes 1, sometimes 12. If I'm home early, I try to sleep early.
Okay.
If I'm not home early, then it means I'll sleep late.
Okay.
If I have an interview in the morning or have something else early in the morning, it means I have to wake up very early. But I have to make up for all that. So you wake up depending on what your day is like. Either a studio session, a recording, a rehearsal, a meeting, an interview.
Or a date.
or a date. And sometimes if I don't have a lot of that, I stay home.
Okay.
I just stay home, sleep, do what I can do. You need time to pray too. You need time to study the word. You need time to do all that. So you make sure that you have all that within your schedule. And if you know you can't do a lot on your regular day, when you have a lot of time, you do enough to keep you going whilst you.
How many hours does Joe rehearse in a day? To keep sharp. We'll talk about Mihiao Yesu. But
how many?
Yes. How many hours do you rehearse in a day to keep sharp?
I think that one of the things we do a lot is when we have like a lot to do, we rehearse we rehearse a lot. We can actually rehearse from sometimes 10 a.m. to about 5 p.m.
Woo.
We do a lot of those kind of things, especially when we have major events and stuff.
Okay.
But the usual ones, normally it's between 6 p.m. to maybe 9 p.m.
Okay.
Unless we're not done, then we extend a bit to 10 p.m. or so we try as much as possible to do a lot at a time.
Okay.
So we don't have to always be doing it, you know. And because fortunately the team I work with have been with me for years. Okay. We understand each other. We're able to click. So that things you see us do, you assume we've done it over and over. We've not rehearsed it.
Okay.
But because we flow with each other, so we're able to.
The synergy is.
Yes. But it's one of the things we've said that this year we're going to do a lot. Okay. We want to do more for rehearsals, new arrangements, because every year you need to bring a new block of arrangements. Even if it's the same song, you need to approach it from a different way. Yes.
When you pick an old song and you make it new, run us through the process. How tough is it? You pick an old song like Jesus, we are Jesus. You pick an old song and then you turn it into something else and everybody jumps on it and they want to run with it.
I think it's the interpretation for me. Whenever I hear a particular song that ministers to me in a particular way, I want to interpret it in that regard. And so that's what normally happens. So like Jesus, we are Jesus, touch him, you know, like you hear it in a fast pace in addition to it being slow. And then we just drop it at a rehearsal and say, hey guys, can we approach it this way? And then we start working on it together. So normally all these things are worked on together with me and the band. And then we approach it that way. A song like, what else? I like Akuchem Nyame, right? When I wrote Minsuro, when I was done with Minsuro, I always kept hearing the Akuchem Nyame. And so that was how I wanted to do that too. Because after saying that He's my light and my salvation, and I will not fear and everything. Akuchem Nyame gives a more assuring word as well. So that's how I tagged it along with that. And so it's just basically the interpretation. Whenever I feel that in my spirit and I feel like speaking it out, I use those songs.
Okay, there's a brand new one on your screens shortly. It's called Mihiao Yesu, I Need You, Jesus. Take a look at it. When we come back, we'll have a talk about that.
Obechi chachi miri reni na sewu mini obia obechi chachi miri reni na sewu
Mehia Yesu, I need you. Why this title? Mehia Yesu at this time?
Don't you think in this time we all need Jesus?
I don't know. You tell me.
I believe that we don't talk much about Jesus like we used to. We talk more about what he can do rather than him, the person. And so I believe that it was time that we re-echo, because these are things that sometimes God lays on my heart, and then I speak it. I've had this song for a while. Wrote it actually in a time when I was really going through something really serious. And
what were you going through?
It was one day, I'll tell you that.
No, story. I'm a journalist. I want to.
No, I know you are a journalist, obviously. But then,
what were you going through?
I mean, we all go through. Sometimes you go through rejection. You go through the like hard times. You go through a lot of stuff. And for me, most of the time when I'm going through those things, I channel that energy into a message, or I channel it, because if I believe that whenever God is able to take me out of that place and bring me to the place that His purpose or plan for me, it's a testimony that can encourage somebody. And so I tell you the source of what brought me out. You know, and that's
so why. Tell us now. I'm sure somebody's going through a similar thing. Who wants to.
Sometimes you don't know that Jesus is all you need until He's all you have. Sometimes you don't know that Jesus is all you need until He's all you have.
I see.
Because when everyone and everything has left you and you're all by yourself, you go back to Him. But the point is, He was there from the beginning, so you could have just stuck with Him. But you left him in pursuit of other things.
All because we do not carry everything to
and
God.
Then everyone and everything goes away from you, then you go back to
Him.
So you don't know that He's actually all you needed from the beginning, until He's all you have, when there's nothing else you have and there's no one else.
You have still not told me what you were going through.
Share a bit of it. I told you.
Share a bit of it.
There's a lot of reasons why I'm not sharing that now. Obviously, it's a testimony, so would encourage somebody. But there was a time in my life when I was going through a particular issue that it could take only God to come through for me. You know, and so I cried out to Him and said, I need you. You know, I have no one. There are things that happen to people, and they're like, I know an uncle here, I know an auntie here, I know, but I don't know anyone but Him. And so I cried out to Him, and that was when the song came to birth as well. And it's a message that I believe is going to bless somebody's life. And already we're getting amazing testimonies of how the song is really doing things in the lives of people. One of the main purpose of the song is to bring people back to the place of prayer, to have a sense of conviction within them, to spend more time with Him.
Has the church lost focus in terms of talking about Jesus, talking about
that's very generic? Like
no, it's not. I mean, I'm asking the church in this totality.
I don't think so.
Because now the message of prosperity and what can be given to you by Jesus is what is taking center stage, which is why I'm asking.
I would say that the church hasn't really lost this sense of focus with respect to talking about Jesus. There are churches that maybe don't talk about Him like they used to, and sometimes some of them are louder. That's why you hear it, but it doesn't mean the church, because you go to churches and they still talk about Jesus, talk about the message of Christ, the work He came to do, and they don't polish it in any way. They talk about the prosperity because it's all part of it. You know, there's a message of salvation and there's a message of the life in Christ, abandoned life. You know, there are two different messages. Unfortunately, sometimes because people talk about prosperity and other things, we assume that then that is also not important. But you can actually be saved having the message of salvation and not living the abandoned life in Christ.
I get it.
You know, so there are two messages. They go together. You know, but just that sometimes we few places hide.
That we had to put this one first. How long have you had this song? You said you've had it for a while.
Maybe 2 years.
2 years?
2 years, yes.
What do you make of the National Cathedral? Do we need it?
With this topic always?
No, I'm just asking. I'm just asking. We're children of God. Do we need a cathedral?
Do you need a cathedral?
I don't answer questions here. I ask.
No. The point is, where we are now, it won't even make any change. Whether you need it or you don't need it, it's going to happen. And I think
are you in support? Are you in support of it?
It's a cathedral. If it's built, I'll use it.
So you
I will use it. Definitely. I won't sit here and say no. And then when it's done, I'll say.
Joe Mettle, thank you very much.
Thank
I wish
you
you
for
all the
having
best. The wedding invitation hasn't come.
It will come. It will
When?
come. It will come.
Akofa says I should ask you.
Oh, Akofa, it will come.
When? We had a chat in 2017. You said it's coming. 2018, you said it's coming. 2019. Harriet has married within that time. Amma has married within that time. I have married within that time.
Oh, are you married?
Yes.
I
have a certificate to the dross now. So,
on that note,
yeah.
This is where we wrap up. Don't worry, it will come. It will come.
So, Joe, you are doing my job for me. Okay. Let me say happy birthday to you, Brigadier General Constance Ejeni Afenu of the Ministry of Defense. To you, Patrick Kinsley Opoku of Kingstel Hotel in Chakradi, Jacob Endless Ai, Papa Kofi Abronoma Christian J. Frimpong, and to you, if it's your birthday today, happy birthday. We love you. Gift hand up here. Happy birthday to you as well. We're going. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Wednesday's Independence Day.
Yeah. I thought we were going to sing the national anthem.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
No. Let's sing it. Let's sing it. God bless our homeland, Ghana, and make our nation great and strong. Bold to defend forever the cause of freedom and of right. Fill our heart with true humility.